Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be doing a topic that is more important in INICT, but questions like images can be asked in NEET as well. So we'll just quickly go through this fundus walk and just look at the images very fast, right? So what is fundus? First of all, it is an view of retina, and remember that retina is transparent, so fundus appears red. See, as you can see in the images, because of the choroidal vessels that are posterior to the transparent retina. Then the examination of retina is done by ophthalmoscopy, right? Ophthalmoscopy is done using a retinoscope, and that is called a direct ophthalmoscopy, while indirect ophthalmoscopy is done for basically retinal diseases, right? Remember that the area of magnification is lesser in direct, it is more in direct, it is 15 times, and the magnification is 5 times in IDO. So the area visualized in direct ophthalmoscopy will be smaller as compared to the area visualized in the indirect ophthalmoscopy, that is larger, right? And direct is for glaucoma and the papillary diseases, while IDO is usually for retinal detachment. How will you identify the instrument? The direct ophthalmoscope will be just like a retinoscope. It is a handheld instrument, while for indirect ophthalmoscopy, the patient lies at a distance and a condensing lens is used, which is of value 20 diopters. Then other investigations for retina can be OCT, which shows the layers of retina. And remember that the retinal pigment epithelium, it will appear reddish in color, and in the center there will be a dip representing the fovea, which is due to the absence of ganglion cell layer. Then some dyes like ICGA and FFA. So fluorescein angiography is by using an orange dye, and fluorescence is observed at around 520 nanometers. It is better for vascular and macular pathologies, while ICGA, it is better for choroidal pathologies, right? Then there are two diseases that can be diagnosed using FFA, which is first is CSR and second is CME, right? CSR is nothing but there is fluid accumulation in the subretinal space, like here, between the retina and the Burke's membrane, right? And the OCT here will show shallow neurosecretory retinal detachment, while on FFA there will be ink blot or smokestack pattern. Then let me write ink blot or smokestack in CSR, while in CME it is nothing but it is the edema, right? So there will be cystic spaces in the outer plexiform layer. And just remember one point, that steroids are given in CME while steroids are contraindicated in CSR, because steroids is one of the precipitating factors for CSR. Then let us look at the diseases and the fundus with it. So first here we can see ARMD. What will we see? Drusen's, right? And if drusen's are seen, then this means it is dry ARMD, right? Treatment can be using just vitamins. If there is wet ARMD, that is, you can see some choroidal neovascularization, then the treatment of choice will be some anti-VEGF like bevacizumab and ranibizumab. Then the next image is Best maculiform dystrophy. Here you can see egg yolk like appearance of the macula, right? So it is also called vitelliform lesion, and here the investigation of choice is EOG, right? In EOG, what we do is we calculate Arden's ratio, which is nothing but light peak upon dark trough, and it is usually normally more than 1.85. In Best maculiform dystrophy, right, remember the investigation of choice is EOG, and here the ratio will be less than 1.5. Then next image is you can see a target type macula, right? This is bullseye maculopathy. And this is seen with two disease. First is Stargardt's disease, which is an autosomal recessive disease, and it is a dystrophy of the cone, right? And on FFA, you will see a silent choroid or a dark choroid. Then other is a very important drug, that is chloroquine, right? Chloroquine is associated with first bullseye maculopathy and second vortex keratopathy. Remember, one more drug is amiodarone, that is associated with vortex keratopathy. Then next is are some congenital causes of night blindness, right? First is Aguchi disease. Here there is the rods are normal, but there is defect in conduction. And a very important thing to remember with Aguchi disease is Mizuo Nakumura Mizuo Nakamura phenomenon. Some Japanese name, right? Mizuo Nakamura. What happens is that here we can see a yellowish green fundus, right? In all the other cases, we were seeing a reddish fundus due to choroid, and here there is a greenish yellow fundus, which is called as Mizuo Nakamura phenomena. Next, congenital cause of night blindness is Fundus albipicans, and here there is an absence of rod response. Next fundus image that is seen is of retinitis pigmentosa, which is the most common hereditary fundal dystrophy due to both rod and cone involvement. And here there is, remember, a triad of bony spicules, arteriolar attenuation, and waxy pale optic disc. So here we can see the bony spicules, waxy pale optic disc, and the arteries are very narrow or very small. The investigation of choice for retinitis pigmentosa is ERG. Right. Then two most important conditions, diabetic retinopathy and hypertensive retinopathy. Diabetic retinopathy is further divided into non-proliferative and proliferative. The non-proliferative diabetic retinopathy is characterized by aneurysms, hemorrhage, and hard exudates, remember. While the proliferative is characterized by growth of abnormal vessels or neovascularization, right? Then next is the hypertensive retinopathy images. First, let us look at the grading. The grading is called as Keith-Wagner grading, where in grade 1 there is just attenuation of vessels, that is the vessels are very patla and very small vessels. Second is in second stage we will have Salus sign, right? In third stage, first is this, in third stage we will have bonnet and gun sign. Okay, so how to remember this? Salman Khan, right? He hits with bonnet and he has a gun with him. So first Salman will come, then only gun will come, right? So second is Salus, and third is bonnet sign and gun sign. And here we can also see copper wiring of vessels, and fourth is a silver wiring of vessels as well as papilledema. Okay, so let us see the images. Here we can see the arterioles are attenuated and it appears like a copper wire. So this is stage 3, right? Here we can again see focal arteriolar attenuation grade 1. Then in severe cases there can also be retinal hemorrhages and cotton wool spots, and along with hard exudates. Okay, this question was asked in November INICET this year, right? Moving ahead, the next condition is retinal detachment. So retinal detachment can be either primary or secondary. Primary is called as rhigmatous retinal detachment, and the causes are myopia, trauma, right, cataract surgery, and lattice degeneration. In lattice degeneration, there is a fine mesh form that leads to retraction and finally detachment of the retina. Remember, very importantly, the primary is associated with floaters photopsia, and the patient will complain of a curtain falling in front of him. That is how he'll lose his vision. Another important sign is the Schaffers sign, which is the tobacco dust appearance in front of the posterior to the lens or in the anterior vitreous humor, some brownish deposition, and there will be RAPD, that is afferent pupillary defect, right? Then the detachment will be convex and it extends till ora serrata. The secondary retinal detachment, it is of two types, traction and exudative. In traction, remember, very importantly, no floaters or photopsia will be present, right? That is how you will differentiate between primary and secondary. Also, the detachment will be concave and it will not extend till the ora serrata. The examples of traction RD are diabetic retinopathy, retinopathy of prematurity, and sickle cell anemia. Okay? Here in sickle cell anemia, there is an important point. We will get Roth spots, which are nothing but they are hemorrhage with a clear center. Okay? This will lead to retinal detachment as well. Then exudative retinal detachment, the most common cause is choroidal melanoma. It can also be caused by other diseases like Coats disease, BKH syndrome, central serous retinopathy, which is red, CSR, ink blot and stack pattern on FFE. Then the hallmark is shifting fluid sign, and here it will be a sudden loss of vision. In traction, there will be a gradual loss of vision, while in exudative, there will be a sudden loss of vision. Then how do we manage primary retinal detachment? So either we can put pressure from inside or we can put pressure from outside. The internal pressure is called internal tamponade, where we inject a pneumatic substance like SF8, right? It is done for superior breaks, or silicone oil can be put, but remember it should be removed after 8 to 12 weeks. External tamponade is nothing but scleral buckling, right? PVR or when the retina is mobile, right? Then for those cases, vitrectomy and the subretinal fluids need to be drained. The next condition is ROP, right? Here it happens in children less than 32 weeks or weighing less than 1750 grams. So very important question that is asked is how to screen patients of retinopathy. So remember, you should look at the age of the child, whether he is more than 28 weeks or less than 28 weeks. If the child is more than 28 weeks, then the screening is done at 4 weeks after birth, while for a child less than 28 weeks, it is done 2 to 3 weeks after birth. Okay. Then there is grading. So first is the presence of just a demarcation line. Then there is formation of ridge. Okay, this is 1, line is 1, ridge is 2. Then there is neovascularization, which is grade 3. Then there will be partial RD, grade 4, and total RD is grade 5. And what is pre-threshold disease? This question is also asked. So we divide it into zones. Okay, first is taking optic disc as a center in a radius of 4 disc diameter. We make a circle, that is zone 1. Then from there till ora serrata, we draw another circle, that is zone 2, and finally the temporal side crescent strip that is left, it is grade 3. So pre-threshold disease is any disease of zone 1 with plus disease, zone 1 zone 1 any stage with plus disease, or zone 1 stage 3 disease. Remember what was stage 3? Stage 3 was neovascularization or more, right? Then zone 2 or with stage 2 or stage 3 disease. मतलब अगर यहाँ पे होगा in zone 2, then this needs to be stage 2, that is presence of either a ridge or neovascularization, anything more than that, as well as presence of plus disease. What is plus disease? Is nothing but venous tortuosity in more than 2 quadrants. Okay, how do we treat it? We do laser photocoagulation and pars plana vitrectomy. Then quickly looking at optic atrophy. It is of 3 types: primary, secondary, and consecutive. So the consecutive optic atrophy, this is due to the retinal disease. So just let us look at the conditions: CRAO, CRVO, and retinitis pigmentosa. We've already done retinitis pigmentosa. We'll just look at the fundal images of CRAO and CRVO. So CRAO is central retinal artery occlusion, and the most common cause is a cholesterol emboli, which is a Hollenhorst plaque. Okay, here we will also see a cherry red spot. So the differential for this can be Niemann-Pick syndrome, right? And gangliosidosis, Sandoff's disease, Tay-Sachs disease, further on all the differentials for cherry red sign. Then it is also associated with RAPD, right? Afferent pupillary defect, and the fundus will be pale because this is a consecutive optic atrophy. In all consecutive atrophy, the fundus is waxy and pale. Okay, and remember it should be treated within 4 hours. Then next is central retinal vein occlusion. One more thing here, the vessels will appear segmented in CRAO, right? And this is known as cattle tracking of blood vessels. तो क्या क्या हो गया CRAO में? Let's revise it एक बार फिर से. First is cattle tracking, second is pale waxy optic disc, and third is cherry red spot. ठीक है, now let us look at CRVO. CRVO में what we will see, it looks like someone has splashed tomato upon it, and this is known as tomato ketchup or splash sauce appearance. Also, there can be rubeosis iridis, which is the neovascularization of the iris, and this leads to the neovascular glaucoma, which is also called as a 100-day glaucoma. The treatment for this is pan-retinal photocoagulation, right? And if a branch of the central retinal vessel is involved, then it is known as BRVO. BRVO का बस remember most common location is superotemporal. मतलब कि this is the optic disc, ठीक है, this is temporal, तो either here will be the involvement of BRVO. कि papilledema, right, it is usually associated with increased intracranial pressure, and it is a kind of secondary optic atrophy. So the fundus here will be dirty gray, and it will have ill-defined margins. So the fundus here will be dirty gray, and the margins are not well defined, right? Here we will see a chalky white fundus, and here we will see a very pale fundus. Matlab, in primary we will see a chalky white fundus, in secondary we will see a dirty gray fundus, and in consecutive we just read we will see a pale fundus. Okay, so now let us look at some miscellaneous conditions, and the first one is uveitis. In uveitis, especially the posterior uveitis, that is called as chorioretinitis, right? And panuveitis. So in chorioretinitis, there can be infectious cause or non-infectious cause. The infectious cause includes toxoplasmosis and CMV retinitis. In toxoplasmosis, the fundus will show a headlight in fog sign. Okay? It appears that there is fog, and through the fog, the headlight can be seen. That is toxoplasmosis. CMV retinitis appears as a pizza pie fundus, right? So here this is ketchup and this is cheese, so it appears like a pizza, and the spread appears like there has been a fire, so it is called brush fire extension. The non-infectious cause for chorioretinitis is sarcoidosis. Here there are two findings. First, there is candle wax dripping due to perivenular phlebitis, and second is the Landis sign, that is there are nodules that is seen in the retina. Then in panuveitis, the syndrome that should be remembered is Weak-Head syndrome, and here the fundus appears as if we are seeing a sunset, so it is called as sunset glow fundus. It is quite glowing, right? Then after completing uveitis, let us see some of the congenital anomalies of optic disc. So first is morning glory syndrome. So the optic disc would appear like this in morning glory syndrome. And second is myelination of nerve fiber layer of retina. So if it gets myelinated, it appears as white streaks seen on the fundus imaging. Then finally, we'll complete it by looking at some of the refractory errors and their fundal imaging, right? So first is hypermetropia. In hypermetropia, we can see that the disc is very small, right? The vessels are attenuated, and the optic disc, it appears quite bright, right? So this is known as short silk appearance. Not very important, but important to note is pathological myopia, right? In pathological myopia, what we get are a tigroid appearance, which is also called a tessellated appearance of the fundus. There is a crescent on the optic disc on the temporal side, and the optic disc here, it is again we can see in here, and the optic disc appears like it has been tilted, right? There can also be some lacquer cracks. If they are present, then they leads to rhegmatis retinal detachment, right? And That's all for the images. I think we have done quite a lot of fundal images. Let us quickly look at them once again to have a final revision, right? So CRAO will have cattle tracking and a cherry red spot. CRVO will have a tomato ketchup or a splash sauce appearance. Retinitis pigmentosa will have a triad of pale waxy disc due to consecutive optic atrophy, bony spicules, and attenuated blood vessels. Then toxoplasmosis will have headlight and fog appearance, CMV retinitis, pizza pie appearance, and brush fire extension. Sarcoid will have candle wax stripping and the Landis sign, which is retinal nodules. Then Recate syndrome is a pan-uveitis showing sunset glow fundus. In ARMD, especially dry ARMD, there is presence of drusense. Then Best macular dystrophy will have a vitelliform lesion, that is egg yolk-like. Then chloroquine will have bullseye maculopathy and vortex keratopathy. Bullseye maculopathy will also be seen in Stargardt's disease. Then Aguchi disease will show Mizu-Nakamura phenomena, that is a green-yellow optic disc. Then in congenital anomalies of optic disc, first is the morning glory syndrome, second is myelinated nerve fiber layer showing white streaks. Then vascular disorders, diabetes will show aneurysm, hard exudates, and hemorrhage in non-proliferative state and blood vessels in the proliferative phase, right? Then hypertensive retinopathy, grade 1 will show just attenuation of vessel, grade 2 will show Salus sign, grade 3 will show bonnet sign and gun sign, and grades 4 it will show papilledema, which is elevated optic disc. Then finally, refractive errors will have pathological myopia showing a tigroid appearance, temporal crescents, there may be lattice degeneration as well, and hypermetropia showing short silk appearance and a small fundus. Then ROP, here we can see a demarcation line or a ridge, neovascularization or total or partial retinal detachment, and retinal detachment usually appears as crumpled retina, right? So these are all the fundus images. Hope you had fun with the fundal walk and hope that helps. Do comment and let me know. Your feedback is so important, and subscribe, like, and follow my Instagram for daily topics and stuff like that. Bye bye. Happy learning.